This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
Today on CityCast Philly, it's the Friday News Roundup. Some tenants in West Philly say they still don't have heat. Their landlord says they might have some past due bills. Philly police aren't arresting kids for low-level crimes. There's a new drug treatment center coming to the Northeast. And the Birds take on the Green Bay Packers on Sunday. It's Friday, January 10th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week is Matt Katz, executive producer here at CityCast Philly. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Trenae.
And Abby Fritz, CityCast Philly producer. Hey, Abby.
Good morning, Trenae.
We're here at the Fiddler Club, and when we got inside, it was cold. It was real cold.
Yeah. Felt like razor blades were cutting my face walking here this morning.
Remember, it snowed on Monday?
Yeah,
we
that's
had a
right.
snow day.
And it was supposed to snow a little bit more this weekend, but we're not really getting much snow this weekend, apparently.
No.
But it does feel finally like a normal Philly winter. We went through a couple of years where there was no snow at all. And now, you know, we've got a little snow here and there. It's cold.
It's cold.
Yeah, I broke the long johns out. Like, it's serious. It's a serious winter.
And I mean, it's gusty winds.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I going to fly off of 76? Anyway, this week, WHYY reported that the tenants at Locust Towers in West Philly still don't have heat.
Oh, my God.
This really drove me up the wall. I mean, I do not understand how anybody living in a city like Philadelphia, major American city, in 2025 can go without heat, and how the authorities can allow that to happen, and how we as a society can allow that to happen. Plus, these people were paying $1,200 a month in rent.
I know.
Oh, my God.
These are people paying a real amount of money to live in an apartment in West Philly, a couple blocks from the University of Pennsylvania, and they're sitting there plugging in multiple space heaters. They're putting styrofoam on their windows to keep some of the cold out. It's absolutely unacceptable, and really kudos to WHYY for being all over this. The reporter who's been on this story and really has been investigating this is Kristen Mosbrooka Garza, and her story is just remarkable and really infuriating.
Okay, this is what stood out to me. Several tenants contacted 311 back in October of 2024, but for the first time, someone from License and Inspections, which we know, L&I, visited one of the apartments to verify that there was no heat. January 6th
And why?
of this week.
And why did they finally come?
Because WHYY contacted them.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to call a reporter who then calls L&I to get them to get your landlord to do something they're legally obligated to do.
Yeah.
And then there was some, they didn't pay their utility bills. There was some allegations of that. But that doesn't appear to be accurate either.
Listen, also in this reporting, according to 311 records, there were tenant complaints at this complex in 2007, 2009, 2010, 11, 13, and 19, 2019.
So you shouldn't be allowed to own and rent apartment buildings in the city of Philadelphia if you consistently refuse to provide proper heat to your tenants, right?
Yeah.
And that's like L&I's whole job, is making sure people like this can't do that.
Meanwhile, the owners owe over $200,000 in property taxes
Right.
Oh, my God.
to the city.
It's a lot of finger pointing here. Some of the tenants say there's issues with the elevator, the door buzzer, their fridge and their stove. There's pests and mold. It's just,
Mold, no.
yeah.
And we're hearing
It's
about this one
dangerous.
apartment complex, but you know there are other people in the city suffering through a winter without heat.
Yes.
And people who are paying rent too, and people who are paying utility bills for whatever reason, either absentee landlord or inability to get the city to come out and help them. I mean, it's just really upsetting, and I'm glad there are reporters in the city who are on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's also this Pennsylvania law that lays out when a utility company can shut off a customer's electricity, gas, and water. That expired December 31st, 2024, but they've extended that, especially for low-income customers during these cold winter months.
They've extended what?
A utility shutoff moratorium.
Meaning if you don't pay your bill, you have a longer period of time to pay it off and they don't shut you down.
Yeah, like so allegedly no one should not have heat during these really cold months where it can like really be seriously dangerous if you don't.
Magnum Towers, Inc. is the owners, just to put that on the record.
You can finish reading this full investigation done by WHYY. We'll have a link in our show notes. More news of the week after the break.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Also, there's a story that came out this week about a new drug treatment center. I think it's also a residential treatment center in the Northeast. This came out of the Enquirer's reporting.
Yeah, I read about this in the Enquirer. Mayor Sherelle Parker held a press conference on Wednesday to talk about this new $100 million facility, which she talked about less than a year ago making this happen, and she has. They're calling it Riverview Wellness Village, and this is all in an effort to end open-air drug markets in the city and address the effects of substance use disorder. They're going to begin accepting patients this month, which they announced at this conference. So the facility is right next to the city's jail complex, and it can host 340 patients. But eventually, once they're done with all of the construction, because there is still some ongoing construction happening at the facility, they're going to be able to treat 600 people there. It's a big space. It's on the Delaware River. They have 6 houses, or they call them like cottages. They have communal space there, shared bathrooms, kitchens, and living areas, and obviously also spaces to treat people. The process to getting into this facility for patients is they first have to complete a short-term inpatient drug treatment somewhere else. They consider it a low-intensity drug treatment center. So basically, like, your symptoms have to be manageable outside of a hospital setting. So no one is, like, experiencing really intense withdrawals and things like that here. And something that they added in this article that I thought was really cool, they accept both individuals and couples and people with pets, which is a big barrier for some people to seek treatment.
Yeah, right.
Here's a clip of Mayor Sherelle Parker talking at the press conference on Wednesday.
This is long-term care, treatment, and housing. This is a part of our public health and safety ecosystem. This is about prevention, intervention, and even enforcement. But this is also about putting people on a path to self-sufficiency.
I'm wondering what success looks like here. Like, what happens after someone goes through this treatment center?
Right.
Yeah.
You don't expect it will be effective for the 100% of the people who go in, but I wonder what the city's measure would be for what they consider success. Like, how many people are able to stay sober for how long after they're in this facility.
Yeah, and it does look like they are thinking about the future, what's going to happen afterwards for the patients coming through this facility. So patients can stay up to a year, and they also have classes that help train people for jobs, so like job enrichment classes for some types of culinary and other career paths, which seems like it could be really cool and beneficial to the patients here. Right now in the city, they only have space to treat 500 people at 24 recovery locations. So adding 340 beds to this number is huge.
Sure.
And eventually 600, that's more than doubling the capacity to treat people in the city with this type of disorder.
And we know that's still a small percentage of the
Yes.
population struggling with drug addiction in the city. There were more than 1,300 overdose deaths in Philly in 2023. Still, one life saved is a miracle and wonderful. So it is nice to see government proactively doing something in this regard.
Okay, another big news story that came out this week. Starting Monday, Philly police will not arrest kids for some low-level crimes. Instead, they'll be put into a new diversion program, which is to keep kids out of the criminal justice system.
Yeah, I mean, there's much research indicating that the earlier kids have contact with the criminal justice system, the higher chance they have of just being involved in it and being arrested later in life.
There's traumas involved here too.
So this is a way of avoiding, being held in a holding cell when you're a child. Instead, they'll have an opportunity to go to these programs and maybe be connected with resources. So certainly seems like a positive step.
But to be clear, kids are not getting away with carjackings, shootings, homicides, or robbery.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're 12 and you shoplift a candy bar from the Poppy store, this is a way of, avoiding you being held for 48 hours or whatever it might be in a situation that might really cause some trauma. Mm-hmm. Actually, and there was also information that came out of the DA's office. Larry Krasner said that there have been the number of juvenile crime incidents in 2024 is actually down compared to 2023, which is reflective of the overall drop in crime in the city. But I thought that was interesting. And I've been Googling Krasner's name every day because he's up for re-election in just 5 months. Mm-hmm. And so far, there's no opponents. We talked about this earlier in the week with Pat Loeb from KYW, that so far nobody's running against him. And I was really curious about this because he is a controversial figure. He was a lightning rod for so much controversy, particularly his first term, also in his second term. He's known around the country as one of these progressive DAs who is taking a more progressive approach to criminal justice, not as punitive. So I really expected a lot of people to be running against him in the Democratic primary. So far, nobody has announced. However, I went back and I looked at when he first ran in 2017, and he didn't announce until February before the May primary.
Okay,
So
I don't know.
We should be expecting some opponents, particularly one. I was talking to some people involved in city politics this morning, and they are expecting Patrick Dugan to be running.
Who's Patrick Dugan?
Yeah, Patrick Dugan is a former municipal court judge. He resigned in December, and the expectation was at the time that he was resigning in order to run for DA. Has not announced yet. Maybe he's waiting for the Super Bowl to happen and everybody's attention is not on the Eagles and can be on the DA race.
Now, Pat Loeb did mention that another name that was floating around was former Councilman Derek Green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What have we heard maybe from his camp?
Yeah, haven't heard from him, but that was the rumor several months ago. There was a lot of talk about a lot of different names were in the press over the summer about who would be running, but so far, nobody official. And we are also looking at there's also Republican candidates that could be running, but they wouldn't be a factor in this race until November. And then it would be very unlikely for a Republican to defeat a Democrat in the city at this time.
Mm-hmm. We'll keep our eyes on that story, too. We'll be back after this break. All right. It's been a long week. Snow, gusty winds, lots of headlines. What are you guys doing this weekend?
Well, depending on the weather, I might be going out to Jersey because I'm picking up a barbecue.
Is your passport updated?
Yeah, I'm going to have to pay that updated toll, that's for sure.
Right. $6, right?
$6.
Why are you going to Jersey to get the barbecue?
I'm getting off of Facebook Marketplace. I wanted a cheap
Wait,
barbecue.
you're getting food from Facebook Marketplace?
No, an
barbecue
actual
grill.
barbecue, like a grill.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, hold up.
I don't need to go out to Jersey for that, that's for sure.
Abby's buying ribs from some dude in Cherry Hill off
of
Facebook.
Facebook Marketplace, yeah. You know what? Who knows? But yeah, no, so I'm going to be out in Jersey, and I was like, well, if I have to pay the toll, I should do something else out there.
Yeah.
Make it worth my while.
What are you
And
gonna
it's
do?
a little too cold to hike or something. So I was thinking about going to Donkey's Place,
Yes.
which is a cheesesteak place out in Jersey that Anthony Bourdain visited. It's storied as being really good. So I want to go see if it holds up.
They got that poppy seed roll.
Yes, I need to
Gets
try
in your
that.
teeth.
Yes, I love poppy seeds though. I don't care. I love it on bagels. I love it on everything.
Wait, didn't you make us some like cookies with poppy seeds?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah. So I'm excited to try that, and I will report back. I know, Trenae, you've eaten extensively cheesesteaks, so
You got to check their hours. They're not always open on the weekends.
That's what I've heard.
I think there's something like they're open like one weekend day a month, because I did go there a couple months ago and they were closed, and then the sign outside says we're open.
That's the thing about these
Good
cheesesteak
to know.
joints. Like,
you gotta
you
double
never
check.
know their rules.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, they're open the first Saturday of the month.
Well, okay.
Oh, go in February.
Yeah, it looks like I'll have to go next month, but either way, I'll get out there and I'll eat something in Jersey for sure.
Matt, what are you doing?
I'm going to split the G.
What?
What does that mean?
Oh, you guys, come on.
Split the
Actually, I didn't know what this was either until I read in the Inquirer that Guinness has surged in popularity in Philly because of the internet.
We're talking about the beer, right?
The beer. So
The Irish
Guinness. So my boy Fergie over at Fergie's Pub, he is going through 20 kegs of Guinness a week compared to 10 this time last year.
That's crazy.
And the Inquirer surveyed all these Irish pubs across the city, and they're all seeing a increase in sales of Guinness. Why? Because there's this viral thing, of course, and the kids are splitting the G, which means you get the Guinness, and it comes in the Guinness branded pint glass.
Yeah.
And it says Guinness on the side of the glass and has the big G. And the idea is to take a sip that's big enough but not too big, so the froth of the beer lands after that first sip between the big G on the glass.
Oh.
Splitting the G.
Splitting the G.
That sounds hard to do. Guinness is so thick. It's like a meal.
But it is I wouldn't say it's thick. It is like a meal. It is very
hefty.
satisfying.
Yeah.
It looks thicker than it really is.
Okay.
It's creamy.
Definitely creamy.
So it goes down very easily. It's also very low ABV. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of drink them, several of them in a row. And it's filling, so you can skip dinner.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. It's filling. It seems like to drink it fast would be like difficult for me.
It's got a velvety texture, Abby, and it just goes down easy.
We're going to have to try. We'll have
we
to
have to
see
try
if we
it.
can do it.
So I
you're splitting
read
the
this
G
article,
this
and it made me really want to split the G. And then one other thing I want to do, because I forgot to do it this week, I did not watch the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And
I did.
Oh, did you
Well,
like
what do you
it?
think? What'd you think? You didn't like it.
Oh, no.
Meh.
Oh, that's brutal.
Why?
Because I don't think I like It's Always Sunny in Philly.
Oh, okay.
And you didn't even like it with the
It was
with
a
the
little
Abbott
raunchy,
folks?
in my opinion, for
Really?
Abbott Elementary.
Okay. That's a good point. Abbott is so much more wholesome
Yeah.
than Always
saying-
It's Always Sunny.
The kids, because we watched this as a family.
Yeah. And
Right?
it got a little.
This is on ABC,
And it got a little much.
family network.
Yeah.
And just for context, this was the unique collaboration between two very different Philly-centric TV shows. So you have the mostly wholesome Abbott Elementary, and then the mostly unwholesome It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I was like, whoa. So then I was thinking, they're going to put the Abbott characters in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode that's coming soon.
Oh, okay.
So will Abbott kind of like soften that episode? I don't know. I'm going to stand on this. I did not like that episode.
Okay. So this is when Melissa, the white female teacher at Abbott Elementary, is meeting the guys from It's Always Sunny, and they're all white, and they are there to volunteer at the school.
You guys look familiar to me.
No, we don't.
Yeah, you do. Like, I know you from somewhere.
I would have known.
We
if
don't
I
do
saw you.
schools usually. So I
Yeah.
don't
Wait,
know if-
did you ever get into a fight at an Eagles game?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Have you? Oh, are you kidding? What have I not? Okay, that's what it is then. All right. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Yeah, go Birds. I like her. That's cool. Yeah.
If Caucasian cultural exchange is over, let's get to the free work.
Okay. Yeah.
Lost it when they said that.
So that's funny. So there was one funny line.
We got one giggle at least.
Well, listen, if you saw the show and you think Trenae is wrong and you love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or you think Trenae is right, can you text us? 215-259-8170. I want to hear what people have to say.
Trenae, what are you doing this weekend?
I don't know. I'm going to eat soup or something. Just chill out. Definitely going to watch the game. I heard they're going to possibly bring back Jalen. I don't know how I feel about that at this point.
What do you mean? Why not? Why wouldn't you want him back? By the way, for people who haven't been following along, he had a concussion a couple of weeks ago. He hasn't played in a couple of weeks. But why wouldn't you want him back? This is the first week of the playoffs. We got the Packers. It's 4:30 on Sunday. You're worried about his head?
I'm worried about everything. This is the playoffs. This is like...
Yeah, but he got us here. You don't want a backup quarterback?
But our backups are good, right?
Well, they look good against the Giants. But the Giants...
True.
I could beat the Giants.
And the Cowboys, right?
Right.
Should I not be worried?
Well, no, you should be very worried. Obviously, we should all be worried.
I'm shaking.
Are you worried about the team or are you worried about his health?
I'm worried about everything. I think, you have to remember, the level of anxiety that we all experience while watching Eagles games needs to be studied.
Yeah, and now it's getting real. Now it's you win Sunday, you move on, you lose, you go home for the season.
It is going to be so sad Monday if we lose.
I think everybody should get a day off of work if we lose.
It needs to be a citywide mourning.
Right.
Free therapy for everyone.
However, Victory Monday is the best feeling.
I think, though, people will not be close to being satisfied with a victory in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, people really expecting a Super Bowl appearance this year.
Guys, I bought an Eagles flag to hang outside of my house. I bought the whole flagpole. Wow. The only thing is, I don't know how to drill it into someplace on the house, but...
no, the city of Philadelphia does that for free if you're with Eagles poles.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say,
should.
I don't know. I just take my pole and my flag and just run up and down the street.
That's amazing.
That's what I might do this weekend.
Figure out how to drill it or run up and down the street. Either way, one of the two.
I need to exercise. Been in the house. All right, Matt, Abby, thanks for joining me this week.
Thanks. Go Birds.
Thanks so much, Trenae. Go Birds.
After this episode was recorded, we got the news that the iconic Macy's in the Wanamaker building at 13th and Market Streets is closing. We'll have more about this in the coming weeks. If you have any memories of the Macy's you'd like to share, let us know. Email us at philly@citycast.fm, and you can call us at 215-259-8170. And we'll leave you with some music from the iconic Wanamaker organ. That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. Our executive producer is Matt Katz. Our producers are Abby Fritz and Lizzie Goldsmith. Our Hey Philly newsletter editor is Ava Wynowski. And our host is me, Trenae Nuri. Music by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from all the kimonos. If you enjoyed this episode and really all week, tell a friend, share with your neighbor. Leave us a review and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Philly. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bundle up. Bye.